Hi, tonight we're making spaghetti for dinner, not that stuff in a jar. For this, you're gonna need 2 pounds of ground beef. I use 93% lean. You can use whichever you choose. You'll need 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning, 2 teaspoons of oregano, 2 teaspoons of basil, 4 bay leaves if you choose. It doesn't make a difference if you use it or not. If you use dry garlic, minced garlic, you'll need about 4 quarter teaspoons for that. Or you can use 2 whole garlic cloves. Tonight, I'm not messing with fresh garlic. You'll also need 2 teaspoons of salt and about a teaspoon of pepper, or pepper to your seasoning of your likings. And you're gonna brown your meat. If you are using a not as lean, you'll want to use 2 teaspoons of olive oil in your pan with your ground beef. You will also need to get a 12-ounce can of tomato paste and 2 32-ounce containers of tomato sauce. And if you do not have one of these nifty little hamburger or meat mashers, you'll definitely want to get one of these. I already have my meat cooking. Here it is in my pan. You want to do this over a medium heat. Once it's starting to brown, go ahead and take all of your seasonings. You can pour them all together except for the garlic. So before this, you actually want to put your garlic in. Again, that's 4 quarter teaspoons, so a teaspoon if you don't have a quarter. It tells you on the jar how much you need. So we'll just put that in there, let that cook a little bit for a few minutes. Careful not to burn your garlic. If you choose to put your garlic in before your hamburger, especially if you're using fresh garlic, you're going to want to watch that and make sure it doesn't burn. Just only need to let that cook before you add your meat, about a minute or so. And just mash up your hamburger to whatever size you want. Now, this amount of spaghetti sauce lasts us about two days. So I'll have this for dinner and lunch tomorrow. My kids will probably only have it for dinner, and maybe dinner tomorrow. It'll probably be gone by the time I get home. All right, so that's been long enough for our garlic. So we'll add our oregano, salt, pepper, basil, and Italian seasoning, and spread that all around. You'll want to make sure that it looks similar to this. And then just go ahead and mix that up. This is my first video that I've made cooking, so bear with me. I do apologize. And thank you for checking out my video. Alright, so that is mixed around nicely. So you'll have that mixed around. It should look something like this. You can still see the seasonings, that's good. So while that is browning the rest of the way, I'm going to get rid of my trash and grab my cans of tomato sauce and tomato paste. I believe I did say 32 ounces. If you can't find 32-ounce cans, 29 ounces will be just fine. If you like diced tomatoes, you can take 1 can of diced tomatoes and 1 can of tomato sauce. Everything will be posted in the description that you need. You will want to make sure that you use every bit of your tomato paste, so you want to get that out, otherwise it's not going to set correctly. No, I don't have a fancy electric can opener. I don't like them, so I just still use the old twisty can opener. And I use 2 cans of tomato sauce because my husband does not like tomatoes. You'll want to have a spatula for your tomato sauce and your tomato paste. And just clean up as you go. Our hamburger meat is just about browned. So if you're watching my video, just leave me a comment. Let me know where you're from and let me know how I did, what you think. Any suggestions on how I should do my videos. I am recording from my iPhone because I do not have a tape recorder or camera or a GoPro or any of that. So I am just starting out with this channel. Just different how-tos, what-to-dos. If there's anything that you would like, just let me know. I love to cook. I do work 10-hour days, so my day starts at 3:30 a.m. when I get up, and I get home from work around 4 my time. I am Eastern time. I am located in Indiana, so I will try to post one video a week of dinners or how-tos or just anything. You know, a place to vent, a place to talk, you know. We all need that, something to do. So I'm just trying this out and see how this goes. Alright, at this point your hamburger meat should look about like this, nice and brown. So what you're going to do from here, we're going to take our 12-ounce can of tomato paste. If you don't have a 12-ounce can, 2 6-ounces will be just fine. So I will take what is on the lid and scrape that right on in there. Again, you want to make sure that you get as much out as possible. Alright. That looks pretty good. Can's about empty. We'll just set that in hot water so that way that rinses out and no food goes into our recycling. So what I do with the tomato paste is once I get that in my ground beef, I just mix that around and get that even as possible in the ground beef. Our water's hot, I can see the smoke. Or steam, I guess. So just try to get that tomato paste as even throughout your ground beef as possible before you add your tomato sauce. You will want a deep skillet or a pot of some sort for this. And make sure that whatever you're using, you have a lid to fit on it snugly. Alright. So at this point with our tomato paste, we should have something that looks like a thick sloppy Joe. That's about the consistency that that's going to be for right now. And then we're going to take our tomato sauce and we're going to carefully add 1 can at a time. You want to turn your heat down to low. And I just kind of make like a hole in the middle of my hamburger meat. And you want to make sure that you scrape out as much of that tomato sauce as you can. Waste not, want not. And if you have a small family, again, like my family is a family of 4 at the moment. I have 2 that have left the coop. So it is just myself, my husband, and my 17-year-old and my 11-year-old. This is good frozen, so you can freeze this. Go ahead and add your second jar. So you can freeze whatever's left if your family's not big on leftovers the very next day. And it's be good for a while in the freezer, you know, a couple months or so. And that way you don't have to do this the next time. You know, we eat spaghetti about once a month in our house. And we're not having garlic bread tonight. I forgot we don't have any, and I ran to the little Family Dollar store down the road because I didn't feel like going to the grocery store, and they were sold out. So no garlic bread tonight. So I'll pick some up tomorrow on the way home to have with my leftovers for my dinner, if there's any left. All right, so at this point, all I'm doing right now is just mixing the hamburger meat and the tomato sauce. Don't worry, I'm not sitting anything just down on my counter. I do have a napkin. At this point, you should have a consistency that looks about like this. So it should be pretty thick. Don't worry, that will thin up as the cooking process goes. Go ahead and put your lid on it and turn your heat up to about 4 or 3 and just let that boil. You're gonna let that boil for probably about 20 minutes or simmer. If you want, you can let it cook longer. First time I made it, the recipe that I followed said 45 minutes. I think that was a bit much. 20 minutes seems to be just fine for me. It tastes really good. So, and it tastes even better the next day. So I will be back with you. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get my noodles boiling as well. Again, I said it only takes about 20 minutes for this and it's done. I'll be back shortly. All right, and we're back. It's been a little bit more than 20 minutes. It's been quite a bit more than 20 minutes. I forgot to put my noodles on and went and took the dog out and fed the fish in the pond and did some laundry and stuff. My daughter decided to join us in this section of the video. Say hello.
Hi.
All right, so I actually have turned off my spaghetti sauce. I turned that off at about 30 minutes or so, just because it's still hot. It's going to stay hot as long as you leave the lid on it. At this point, you should have something that looks about like this consistency. You want to make sure that you do stir it occasionally so that way it doesn't stick to the bottom. So you should have a pretty decent consistency of spaghetti sauce. Alright, so we'll go ahead and put the lid back on that. Our noodles are now done.
Yippee!
Make sure that you also put salt in your water. So you want salty water for your
Salt water?
noodles.
Salt water.
We're going to go ahead and take our pot over to the sink.
I actually take the pot of noodles, those two,
And a nifty little trick with your colander, strainer, whatever you call it. Instead of pouring your noodles into the colander in the sink, just put your colander on top of your pan.
It's a pot, not a pan.
Pan, pot, tomato, tomato. And just hold down on it and pour away from you. I do have a mat at the bottom of my sink, so it takes a little bit longer to drain. So we'll just go ahead and move that out of the way.
Move it out of the way.
And hold that
Go.
away from you so you do not splash any of this extremely hot water on you.
Yeah, so you don't burn yourself.
We all know how to do this, right?
your glasses are fogging up.
It's a facial. All right.
Stop. Please.
And I will just set that back in there.
As he gets a bowl for the noodles.
And I do not rinse them off. I don't use a whole bunch of salt in my water. It's not that salty for me. I do take my noodles out of the pan and put them in a bowl just for easier
Access.
to put the leftovers away. Just throw a lid on it, pop it in the fridge.
As he pours the noodles into the bowl. Oh no! It seems like some of the noodles did not come out. Yes. Wait. Ugh, she's such a hater.
All right.
Okay. I'm getting all of the angles. No! My nail! My nail!
She has press-on nails and her nails keep falling off.
My nail!
Okay. All right. And a little trick to keep your noodles from sticking together.
You was not going outside!
Either add a little bit of olive oil, vegetable oil, or butter. I prefer to add a little bit of butter. So we'll put about a tablespoon.
And if my nail breaks off while staring it, then it looks like we're gonna have
About
a
country
nail.
crock.
Like 2
So-
spoons will be good enough.
And then just mix it around.
Stir, 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 stir. Attention.
And this also saves time if you have those children that don't like spaghetti sauce and they just want some butter noodles with some cheese. This one, sometimes she doesn't like spaghetti sauce. She just doesn't want it. My oldest daughter was the same way. Butter noodles it is. Good to go. Throw it on their plate, put some cheese on it. All right.
You guys like my nails?
Alright.
Okay, fine.
Let me know, do you mix your spaghetti sauce with your noodles or do you put your noodles plain and then your spaghetti sauce? In our house, we do the noodles and then the spaghetti sauce on top. We don't mix it. Let me know in the comments how you do it. Alright, and dinner is served. Enjoy. We'll catch you on the next one.